A woman's ego is very, very fragile. A lot of this ego comes from, right? It comes from men that she otherwise wouldn't even want. Like,
I've seen this with Fresh and Fit. I've seen this with whatever podcast. I've seen this with my podcast of Access Vegas. Rollo will get into a debate with a girl going back and forth. I've seen Myron do it. I've seen Myron go at a girl hard, and afterwards that girl is so insanely attracted to him, like trying to leave to go to Mushi Mushi and eat afterwards. I've seen that happen several times. Same thing with me. It's like the guy's trying to simp, and then the girl you see me arguing with, like literally wants to come home with me and my girlfriend. These guys don't understand this, because what these men don't understand is that women are addicted to the attention, not necessarily the necessity to be right. We're logical. We want to be right. In this situation, like if you did a show, this is a weird hypothetical, but if you did a show where you just trashed women, and I'm not talking about Fresh and Fit, I'm just talking about all you did was just call them the whole time, and that show got 4 million subs on YouTube, women would be lined up down the street to get on your show. Even if all you did was trash women, they would. You think about rappers, like when you think about Future just talks about she belonged to the streets. Like that's all he says. Yeah. And women are like lined up to fuck this man who thinks that women are all because his status is high. His status outweighs any beliefs he has about misogyny, patriarchy, or feminism. And it's just like these guys do not grasp this. And I just want to grab him by the lapel and be like, bro, she's not going to fuck you because you wrote that white knight simpy ass comment.
Never. And the thing is, the men who disagree, you're showing the woman strength. Like that's what the guys who are saying don't understand. You might think, oh, these girls don't like what we're saying. But the fact that we have the courage to say what we want to say is attractive in itself. And what are women so attracted to? They're so attracted to strength. Even if they disagree with it. Yeah. Like you just say, they can disagree with everything I say. You still trying to fuck? Yeah. Your ass telling her what she want to hear. She ain't even responding back to you. Like, it is crazy.
Yeah, I've been in the bedroom and the girl's like bringing up stuff we talked about in a debate before. And she's just like, yeah, I didn't disagree with this. And I'm like, we're laying together naked. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's just so crazy. So actually, this kind of, we're skipping ahead because I was going to ask you this later. How has your channel and your content affected your dating life personally? Because you've mentioned this before. You like, don't explain to women that you read red pill stuff. Or Rollo says this all the time. Don't tell women that you read The Rational Male. Don't tell women that you're, but for guys like you, me, and Rollo, Myron, guys like that, we don't have a choice. Like, get millions of impressions every week, every month, basically letting people know that we understand these concepts. Has it affected you personally?
Honestly, bro, not really. I thought it was, but it's kind of, and this is a new thought I've had lately, it's kind of made it easier for me. As crazy as this seems, it's kind of made it where the girls I want find me faster. It's like it kind of just skips out the girls I would not want to deal with. And if a girl comes to my page and she has the kind of mindset that I'm looking for, she gonna like me even more. And the fact that I'm willing to say it, she's gonna like the strength. So I thought it would, but honestly, bro, it just helped me get rid of the girls that I would otherwise not deal with anyways.
Yeah, it's funny. There's so many things that you can learn. Like I love listening to the crazy ass stories because the thing is it goes back to the strip club. Like when I was in the locker room, I'm hearing the crazy stories where girls are like straight up admitting to cheating on their boyfriends. And if I was trying to fuck her, I would never hear that story. But me hearing that story, now at least I know the truth. So I'm closer to understanding what the truth is. So I think that's a really great point when you bring that up. Talking about destroying a woman's ego, and then she's trying to use you for your attention. And then I love the story about this girl trying to manipulate you for sex. This is when your old studio, when you didn't have the setup. Can you go over this concept about she wants to use you for your attention? You don't hit her up after sex. Those things.
Yeah. So a woman's ego is very, very fragile. A lot of this ego comes from, right? It comes from men that she otherwise wouldn't even want. Like a lot of women's ego, the way they act, being entitled, it just comes from the attention that she gives from men she doesn't want. And I noticed that you just act opposite of these dudes and you get the real girl a lot faster. So instead of you getting this girl that is pretending to be a certain way or pretending to be bougie, you don't play that game, or you withdraw your interest, or you pull yourself away. And here she comes folding. Like basically it's like calling her bluff. Like, I'm not gonna validate your ego, so I'm gonna call you bluff. Either you're gonna show me who you are, or you can kick rocks. And what I noticed is if you as a man, you're not so excited to get with a girl, or if a girl trying to use you for sex and you just remove yourself, or if a girl use you for attention, if she's trying to use you for your attention and you don't you don't let yourself be used for attention, then you can see the real girl a lot faster. And I think a lot of guys don't get to see the real girl because they're so used to getting what a woman is pretending to be. You're getting this girl who's pretending to be like she's this bad bee who does this, and men need to do this for her and do this for her. But man, do you know who this girl really is when she's with a man that she knows that shit wouldn't work for?
Yeah.
When she's with a man that she knows all these games I'm playing, I need to throw them to the side because I really want to fuck with him. Yeah. That's the real girl. You're not going to get that unless you destroy her ego.
Dude, like if you ever sit around with a group of girls, like they are the most misogynistic people I've ever met. Like the most misogynistic humans I've ever met are all women. And like Lana's laughing right now because it's true, because they'll tell you, it's like, that girl, she's around on you. She's not shit. Like, it's so funny. Like, I would never say some of these things, but I'll hang around with girls and it'll be like, you can't listen to what they're saying. And like, I'll listen to these women say this. And it's like crazy. I'll ask Lana this. Lana, if a woman consistently says, I would never sleep with a guy on the first date, why is she saying that? Why is she saying that, Lana?
Because she just wants the reputation.
No, because she already did what?
Slept with him?
Yes, she slept. The reason why a woman is saying I would never sleep with a guy on the first date is because she slept with a guy on the first date. When women are like, I can't stand these boys, they're narcissists. Why is she saying that, Lana? Because correct. So she's saying one thing and doing another. Whatever she states emphatically, generally the opposite is true. That's just really interesting when you bring that up. The other one I really liked, and I actually started doing this because I noticed when I'd have sex and then I'd talk to a girl the next day, it just like something fizzled and it was weird. And so I had a rule from the time we had sex, I would not reach out to her for 24 hours. And that seemed to work out really, really well. And you talk about this, don't hit her up after sex. You let her know beforehand, hey, if you want to see me again, you're going to have to reach out.
Yeah, I think this is something huge, a big mistake a lot of guys make, because it's a sweet spot you get the girl in, right? And I think a lot of guys, they lose that sweet spot. If you're a guy that a woman gives herself up to, you technically now have the leverage. You technically now are the guy where she's giving herself up to you. And a lot of guys, they try to close the gap. A little distance happens and they try to close the gap. As a matter of fact, she's in a position right now where she's thinking to herself, did I like that guy? How was it? Does he even like me? So and so and so. So you kind of want to let it marinate a little bit. You don't want to rush and just, because now she knows, oh, he definitely wants me. Uncertainty is super attractive to women, and they might hate it, deny it, but they wanna leave not knowing immediately whether or not you actually enjoyed them. Yeah. And that's when you get the girl to actually pursue you first. Or she's like, hey, how's it going? But if you quick to, oh, I had a this and this and this, I want to see you again. Nah, she's like, oh, I put it on him. I know he gonna come back, right?
Yeah, one of the best books I've ever read about social circle and social media is Dan Bilzerian's book behind me. It's called The Setup, and he quotes B.F. Skinner in the book, and he talks about what you're referring to, which is intermittent positive reinforcement. So they do these experiments with different animals, and one group of animals, they'll just, every time they push a button, food comes out, and they do this for about 100 attempts, and then they stop it for 100 attempts. Once they stop it, the animal quickly understands, okay, there's no more food coming, and they stop pushing the button. So it's not intermittent. That is constant positive reinforcement. When they start doing it where it'll send out food the first 6 times, then not the next 6 times, and then more the next 6 times or whatever, when it goes on and off and on and off, the animals continue to push the button to the point where, like, for certain rodents would do it until they died. They would push it until exhaustion and they would die. When you give mammals intermittent positive reinforcement, this is why gambling works. This is why attention from women works. Is because the intermittent positive reinforcement causes people to work harder for that validation and attention. So that goes back to what you're saying about not having a certain level of certainty. And then the other one is, I love this one, dress better than her. The other thing is, I thought the dress better than her was one thing, because I like to wear suits whenever we go, we do like some of the charity events I host. It's not just dress better than her. It's what it made me think of is when you're an influencer and you are actually more popular than your girl, which most guys are not going to deal with that. An average girl and an average guy, the girl's going to have 100K followers, the average guy's gonna have like 10K. That situation that I've noticed when I broke 100K, and like a lot of these younger girls can't break 10,000 on Instagram anymore. Instagram's not organic anymore. I just noticed this really weird disparity when I would go out with these girls and I would get recognized more than they did, like what it would do to their brain.
Bro, I'm experiencing that right now a lot. And it's like pre-selection social status on steroids. Like, women want to be with a man that is socially accepted, and that's what a lot of guys don't understand. That's why women sometimes, like you were saying earlier about social circle, women would prefer to be introduced by their girlfriends to a man. Like this proof that you're not a weirdo is what women want. And when you're being recognized socially, it's basically like validating that to her. Like the person I'm with is socially accepted, socially recognized. That means I made a good choice. And when you don't have that, she's kind of considering and unsure, did I make the right choice? But if you, like you said, you go out, people come up to you, people recognize you, girls recognize you, she's getting that, okay, I picked the right guy. He's socially accepted. He's somebody I should be with. He increases my status. That's nothing that guys don't get about status. The more status a man has, the more status you indirectly give the girl. Like a woman being with a man with status makes her status higher because the quality of man that she gets makes her look better. If she can get if she can keep a man that is socially recognized, there's something good about her, right? So you indirectly increase her status. Like not only do you have status, but you make her look better. So that's what women want.
Do you remember Chris Rock had that statement about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky? Is like Bill Clinton was so famous that she sucked his dick and now she's famous. Like that's how famous he is. It's fucking hilarious.